Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi co-chairs the first Egyptian-European summit in Brussels, Belgium on Wednesday. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Milad Momtaz, political analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well, Dr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is co-chairing and leading the Egyptian delegation to Brussels for this very important meeting and the summit, the Egyptian EU summit. How do you read this and the importance of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's leading the Egyptian delegation on the political side?
Actually, I will not start from Brussels. I will start from Sheikh. Let's go back a little days ago. And I would like to remind everyone of what we saw at Sharm el-Sheikh, because we received a couple of the most important European leaders. We saw them there at Sharm el-Sheikh. And I think that was a direct manifestation or an acknowledgement of how heavyweight Egypt is.
Yes.
Europe actually now, they know how important and how pivotal Egypt is to Europe. I think that was very evident. I know that, okay, the strategic partnership, we signed it that's actually in March of last year. However, I find what's been going on in Gaza for the last 2 years, I think that was a very, very crucial shift in relations between Egypt and Europe, because Europe sees Egypt now as a highly reliable partner. Not only politically, I know that, okay, it's about economics as well, but I'm trying to shed more light on the political side, on the credibility of our country, of how heavyweight our country is. And yes, we keep on emphasizing this because I need to remind everyone once again of what the situation was like 10 years, of 12 years back, and how Europe saw Egypt back then, 11, 12 years ago. That's why the summit and the timing of the summit there at Brussels, I find it very crucial, and the timing is more than perfect to us, because that, as I said, it comes right after Sharm el-Sheikh and what happened at Sharm el-Sheikh, and the signing of the truce, or, okay, the agreement, the peace agreement, okay, by President Trump. So I find that Egypt is on the right track. Mr. President, and you know, as he's there at Brussels, I find it as very crucial as well, because I think, you know, in the coming future, it's all about the relations between Egypt and Europe.
Yes. Dr. Momtaz, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi today held talks with the EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy and Deputy Head of the European Commission, Kaja Kallas, at his residence in Belgian capital Brussels. How did you follow this important meeting?
Actually, you know, there were kind of, you know, remarks, you know, very important remarks about the meeting. One thing I think we need to highlight is, as both leaders, they stressed on first, okay, that we need to respect the sovereignty of different states, no matter what. And this, I think, is very crucial for the time being, because what we have been seeing for the last 2 years, especially what Israel has been doing in the region, I think that's a direct violation of the sovereignty of the different states like Lebanon, like Syria, like Yemen, like other countries. So I think both leaders have agreed that, okay, no, we need to respect that. And if you don't mind, I'd like to highlight something else that, okay, that I followed up. It's about abiding by international law. And I think that's another crucial thing that we need actually to be very much aware of. Okay, abiding by international law is something very crucial. We shouldn't allow anyone or any country in the world to bypass international law or to neglect international law. And some countries, okay, you know, like what we've been seeing for the last 2 years, they don't pay attention and they don't abide by international law. So I think the two leaders, they were very clear about this. International law is there to be respected, to be abided by, and we shouldn't actually be like away from this by all measures.
Yes, also the EU-Egypt strategic and comprehensive partnership includes cooperation in fields of energy, investment, migration, and also security. Which of these fields do you think is going to witness a great boost or leap in the or progress in the coming phase? Actually, Egypt is playing a very important role in facing or combating the illegal migration with the cooperation between Egypt and the European countries, of course. Among them is Italy, of course.
Actually, I'd like to say that all areas that you have mentioned, I know that's very challenging if you want to focus on all of them, but I think that's on the mind of Mr. President and all Egyptian officials there at Brussels. The problem is that, okay, we don't have time. I know it's a matter of priorities, but I think that's what Egypt has been doing for the last 10 years. We are moving in all directions, especially when it comes to, okay, Europe. And I need to clarify that Europe is the main trading partner or the largest trading partner to Egypt. So I think we need to emphasize, okay, that it's very important not to waste time, and we need to work on all fields at the same time. One of the most important areas I need to actually focus on is the economic. Economically speaking, Europe is one of the strongest entities, okay, in the whole world. I think we need to focus more on this. We need to strengthen on this because, unfortunately, for the last 2 years, the direct foreign investment in Egypt has declined. I know it's very obvious that because of what's been going on, the turmoil in the Middle East. I think that's a very important reason. So I think with the ceasefire, I think it's time to go back and to focus more on this with European partners, because we need actually to get that done and to get that more of activating the economic relations with our European partners. And I think we have so many areas to focus on. One of them I just mentioned, it's about the direct investment, and something else about, okay, clean energy, because we've started working on this since or before COP27. Okay, so I think it's time to focus on the economic field and not to forget the other fields as well.
Yes, Doctor, actually the Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati have delivered a speech before the opening session of the high-level Egyptian-EU meeting, and also Minister of Investment have delivered his speech. But actually, the Foreign Minister Abdelati spoke of the importance of investment for Egypt and told the attendees that Egypt have very good opportunities and chances that the European Union or the European countries should grab these opportunities of investing in Egypt, as the Egyptian state is also providing facilities for the foreign investments. How did you read this?
Actually, when it comes to, okay, what you said or what I was talking about, the economic opportunities, I'd like actually to highlight something else, which actually, some people that were wondering about for the last 10 years. It's about, the focus of the Egyptian government on strengthening our infrastructure, like roads,
yes,
like, like electricity. And we know that it's very expensive, it's very costly. If you want to actually build a very strong, reliable infrastructure, that is very expensive. And that's why we spend a lot of money on infrastructure. But we need actually say, on the other hand, that is investment. What we have been spending is investment, because investors, especially when we invite over those European investors to come to Egypt and invest their money, let's imagine that we don't have reliable, solid infrastructure in Egypt. No one would come to Egypt. Why would I come to a country that they don't have infrastructure? So what Egypt has been doing is like paving the way for those European investors or any investor from all around the world. It's like, to me, it's like a direct and open invitation to foreign investors to come to Egypt. Okay, so I think the Egyptian government, they have been doing the right thing for the last couple of years. So I think it's the right time now, as you said, because when we invite them, it's like saying that we are ready for this. We are very much ready to receive you and receive your money, and you actually would be able to actually do business and do very successful business in Egypt because we are ready for this.
Yes, for his part, the Minister of Investment also have said, Minister of Investment Hassan Al-Khatib also was addressing the opening session of the EU-Egyptian meeting, and said also encouraged investors from Europe to invest in the Suez Canal economic zone. Also, give us an idea about this, please.
Okay, I'd like actually to thank you for the question, because this highlights again something that happened in Egypt, like I think it was like 9 or 10 years ago. And let me actually remind everyone once again of what happened in the Suez Canal.
Yes, Egypt have enlarged the canal.
Exactly.
Yes,
of the Suez Canal. And I think back then some people actually were wondering then why all of this? Why money is being spent? But I think it's very obvious nowadays. That is actually the direct answer of your question. Hadn't we done that? Let's imagine, how would we be able to invite over those investors? Because Suez Canal wouldn't be as efficient nowadays hadn't we done this. So I think it's very obvious that's what it's like envisioning. We were actually very far-sighted even 10 years back. It's like seeing the future. And actually, that's what we see nowadays. When we talk to the people and the investors in Europe, okay, like what you said, I think it's very obvious. We would invite them to come and invest their money, and we would be saying like what Suez Canal is very much ready for this. Suez Canal is one of the most important maritime routes in the whole world. And we are still spending a lot of money on maintaining and enlarging of the Suez Canal. We haven't stopped. We say that, okay, we started it 10 years ago and we would stop working with this. No, we are not actually doing this. We haven't stopped working on the Suez Canal, and that will continue, I think, in the in the next 10 years, working on the Suez Canal as well.
Yes. Also, Minister of Investment Hassan Al-Khatib, while his speech before the meeting today, also spoke of the foreign investments that is going to take place in Egypt, and said that the European countries, the exchange of trade between Egypt and European countries, and also Egypt investing in Europe and Europe investing in Egypt, is going to pave way or provide job opportunities for Egyptians. Every European country is going to provide Egypt with the number and the fields it needs employees in. And this would make us avoid the illegal migration, because each European country is going to put a number of Egyptians it needs to who wants to work in European countries. How did you follow this?
Actually, it's a tough question. That first of all, okay, I'd like to clarify something which I find it very important. It's about the refugees in Egypt. We are hosting between 9 to 10 million refugees in Egypt.
Yes.
And we always call them guests. We never call them refugees.
Yes.
And this is like burdensome on Egypt because we have our own economic restraints as well. Okay, I think we have been, or like ongoing challenges, economically speaking. So when we receive between 9 to 10 million people, I think that needs help from Europe, because we've been working on stopping illegal migration to Europe. I think we've been working very hard on that since 2016, and it's working very well. And something else you mentioned in your question about exchanging the debts. Okay, we need actually, and that's part of the investment plan. And instead that, okay, we give back the money to Europeans. It's like telling them that, okay, why didn't you invest your money in Egypt? So, we're very much ready to give it back. However, instead of doing this, okay, we have investment opportunities. And I think we're not talking in vain. It's true. We have like numerous, opportunities when it comes to investment. Yes. And most of the stuff and most of the opportunities and projects are highly profitable. So, and that's why, my feeling goes, that's what we are very optimistic about this. We are very much hopeful that we are on the right track, economically speaking. And I think this summit is a very important milestone, not only economically speaking, politically and security speaking as well.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Milad Momtaz, a political analyst. We really had the pleasure to have this phone with you, ladies and gentlemen. That was a coverage of the trip by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who is co-chairing Egypt's delegation to the first European Egyptian summit that is taking place in Brussels in Belgium. And my name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.